I want to share a testimony with you. Jesus, coffee. Um, I want to share a testimony with you guys that was shared with me last night, and I'm going to leave the names and likenesses out of the testimony, but it is a amazing story to watch God's hand move and how God's hand moves in people's lives. So this is a friend of mine I grew up with in my youth. Very good friends. We kind of had a crazy friendship, but great person. So we, would tease him or just kind of poke at him, about being adopted. We didn't know, we were kids. You don't say the nicest things when you're kids. Darndest things fall out of the kids' mouths. So we fast forward in life, and his wife wanted him to get a DNA test done. So he does a DNA test, and the results come back, and he finds his biological mom and biological dad. And goes and seeks out his biological dad and finds him, which already is a beautiful thing, but his biological dad, to me, kind of looked in a mirror, kind of dropped a mirror in my face, because he was a little bit of a womanizer. But the fact that he ended up spending his dad's final days of his life with him. So he got to spend time with his dad. Went out, did some things together, shared life. But two beautiful things came out of it. One, he got to know who his son was. And then in his dad's final days, he got to be there with him and share his final days of life with him. And got to be there before his dad passed. And the beautiful thing about it was his dad was able to have peace with his life and make amends with not knowing. He didn't know where he was. So he shows up in his life, spends time with him, makes amends, and before his dad passes, his dad asks for Christ. So the beautiful thing about that was, my friend, God uses a DNA test to show him, hey, I'm going to use you. This is where your biological dad is. In obedience, he goes and seeks him out and travels to go see him, spend time with him. He gets to spend time with him, so both of them get a piece of their heart together. God gives him closure to know who his biological dad is, and he finds his biological mom too, and now has a relationship with his biological mom, but gets to know his biological dad, spend time with him, and be there at the end of his life and forgive him. Didn't carried out in bitterness, walked out Christ's forgiveness, showed and put Christ on full display in that love. Didn't say, "Oh, I'm going to be mad at you and I'm going to be bitter at you." No. For the fact that he even went out there, he put Christ's love on full display. And before his dad passed, while he was pretty much on his deathbed, asked him and said that, I don't want to not know Jesus. So he prayed with him. And he accepted Christ. So on his deathbed, he, much like the thief on the cross, lived his life separated from Christ, but in his final moments realized that he needed Jesus. And he prayed with him, and he accepted Christ in his heart, and was able to pass in peace, and gave my friend the God gave him, used him, worked through him so beautifully to draw his father to him. Even on his deathbed, still drew him to him into the kingdom. It's not length of time that you get to know Jesus. It's that you get to know Jesus. Criminal on the cross knew him when he was hanging there. His dad got to know Jesus on his deathbed. And he's going to have eternal life. He's going to have eternal life with his son, and got to spend final days of his life with his son, because God's that good. Doesn't matter what you've done. Doesn't matter what you've done. It only matters that you get to know him and you develop a relationship with him. That's what matters. It's that you hear his knock. You know, Psalm 46:10 says, "Be still and know that I am God. My name will be exalted in the nations. My name will be exalted on earth." Be still. Don't fight. And know that I'm God. He's God. He's got it. He is God. And he moved so beautifully through my friend's life that I couldn't do anything but cry and praise Jesus last night when he shared that story with me. Because how beautiful to watch God move in every part of that story. Moved through a DNA test. Moved in his heart so that his heart was soft and not bitter, and wanted to go seek his dad out instead of being bitter for a lifetime of being separated by him, a lifetime of being separated from him. He was soft. If you look at it, there's symbology in all of it, and it's God using that symbology. My friend's heart was soft when it could have been hard. His heart was soft. And because he used us, he had a soft heart, got to spend time with his dad before, who they'd been separated their whole life. And you look at the symbology of his dad, and his dad spent his whole life separated from Jesus. But in his final moments, came to know Jesus and asked for Jesus. And Jesus washed him clean. So in his final moments, had a life of peace. Was able to pass and leave this world in peace with his son by his side. Guys, it's beautiful. Again, I get emotional because I see that, and It breaks my heart for people that don't know him. And even on his deathbed, he accepted him. I want everybody I know to know the Jesus I know, because that's the Jesus I know. That right there, that's the Jesus I know. And I wanted to share that because it's a powerful testimony to what happens when you let God use you, when you have God, when you have Jesus in your heart, and you walk out your story. He shows you your path. It's your choice to walk your path. And my friend chose to walk his path, and he walked it beautifully and shared it with me, and I couldn't praise Jesus enough with him. I came home and shared it with Leah because that's just a praise Jesus moment. So beautiful. I am so grateful that he shared that story with me. So I just wanted to share it with you because I can't praise Jesus enough. So I love you guys. I know he loves you. He doesn't want to spend any more of your life separated from you. So stop walking around separated from him. Come to know him and know the same Jesus I know and the same Jesus my friend knows and got to watch work in his life. Guys, there's no coincidence in that story. That's a Godcidence all day. So I love you guys. He loves you like crazy. He wants you. Don't spend another minute away from him. You guys have a fantastic Tuesday. We'll be back tomorrow with whatever Dad wants to talk about because that's a crazy story.